Did I call the right one? Oh gosh.
Sorry, I don't have
You're fine.
the webcam because I'm rebuilding my PC so I can stream again. But I just wanted to get in here because I'm so infuriated at times. Okay, so quick recap how I feel about the placing. We have a top two team at the moment. We're definitely championship contenders, which means that as the game progresses, we're going to get better, and other people are going to get better as well. So it's going to be a good year of Call of Duty, which at the end of the day, for me as a team owner, is all that matters. Is all it should matter to the fans. Is all it should matter to the people involved. But it's let's take it back. Let's say 2 games, right? Let's go back to Black Ops 2. Optic wins the first ever Black Ops 2 tournament. What happened after that? Absolutely nothing until the gold medal, right? So again, it's an opener. Pat proved to be what everyone hates to admit at times, and what everyone has always known, right? That dude knows how to win. His bio is as true as it always be, right? He's a winning mastermind. But anyway, so every single time there's like you should drop this person and pick up this person, or this person's gonna leave. I can see this person leaving. When we lost against TK, like the my mentions were amazing, right? All these fake fans, all these green wall pretenders were all like, I can see Krim leaving now.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I can see they can't leave. You can't change. No one's leaving. No one's changing. The only time a change can happen is if I contact the owner of, let's say, Optic Nation and say, hey, Hex, do you want to trade this player for that player? And I say, yeah, let's trade him. Bam, trade it, done. That's the only time any change can happen. Obviously, it's. I was just giving you an example, right? I'm not gonna say another team's name and say me and this person. So I don't want to cause any like, oh my God, they're colluding, they're making this happen. So I just wanted to come in here really quick to educate the fans and anybody that's in the chat or anybody that's listening that thinks that we are in 2010 and 2011, 2012, where people can just leave whenever they want and no consequences. No one has an option. I don't have an option. The players don't have an option. Everybody has to mutually agree to a parting of the ways before any roster changes happen. So, just clearing the air.
How's your squad?
Good. They were a bit down on themselves. A lot down on themselves. We hung out last night. We chilled. We talked, and we know what we know at the end of the day, and everybody knows what we know at the end of the day. We have some pretty good team. We have some pretty good players on the team, and we're good. I'm super excited for Optic Nation. I know that the chemistry's not there yet, but once the chemistry's there, with Embos showed up every single match that they played. He was leading sometimes in the slaying department. So anybody that says that we need to drop Embos can yet again take a seat and don't pretend or think that you know better than the man in charge. All right.
I actually thought Nation did pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah, we reminded Embos the whole time what he placed on the way back home. Look, it's what we do, right? I called Nate Shot and Crim6 second place. They call me names. I call Embos fifth, sixth. We're all friends here, which is why Optic will continue to be first and foremost a very fun family that does Call of Duty for a living.
Mm-hmm. That's so cool.
Did they do any talk? I know it's early right after, and I would imagine that this would be a rough loss for Krim just because of who he lost to.
Yeah.
He tweeted, "This is a sad day." I'm sure it was rough. Well, let me ask you as an owner, and you just said some really great things about Aches. His bio speaks for itself. Is this pretty much cementing the fact that will we ever see anyone else like him in competitive Call of Duty?
Absolutely. I mean, I hope so. Like the only time that we haven't, I mean, like let's take basketball for example, right? Basketball is probably like the only time you can say you will never see another Michael Jordan. Okay,
yeah.
Kobe will never be it. LeBron will never be it. Jordan is king, will remain king and a god till the rest of basketball's eternity.
Yes,
Okay.
I agree.
But anyway, that was just me loving Jordan too much because I do. But yeah, no, I hope so. I hope that there's people better than than Pat. I hope there's people better than Crimsix than Scumpy than me. I hope somebody comes in and years down the line when I'm no longer willing to compete as an owner and do the things that I do, that somebody may be able to take the spot. One day.
But is it you don't think that it's a spot similar to Michael Jordan's where, I mean, who's going to win close to 20 championships? I mean, I know TP's right behind him, so if Optic Nation picks up a couple, technically TP could get to 20 before.
I mean, bro, think about this, okay? It only took what? It only takes 2 years for somebody to catch up?
Gosh, that's crazy. Yeah.
All right, so yeah, of course. These guys are still in, they're young. We have Scumpy at 19, Crimsix at 19. Or no, right? No, Crimsix like 22, I think. But formal is what I was talking about, right? 19, 19 or 20-ish. But they're still young. They still have a lot of Call of Duty left in them. And so do I. And so do you. So does Hitch. So does Goalie. So does Neslo, especially Neslo. And Fatty. Fatty has a lot of beard to grow still. So yeah. there's
back hair.
Look, the second that you start to believe things like, will there ever be someone better, instead of I wonder when the next better person is going to come, is the day that you're like dooming your future in a sense, right? You can't think negatively about there will never be somebody. Hope. I mean, you don't know that. Hope for, right? Like I just said, I hope that there is somebody better than Aches and somebody better than Scumpy, somebody better than Crim, and
yeah.
It's all progress, right? We are just something for a period of time, and whatever we leave behind is just going to be like a footprint or a blueprint for somebody to take what we've already established and make it better. So that's what we should hope so.
Did your team talk at all about what lost them the tournament?
Oh yeah, over and over again, and over and over again, and over and over again. And over and over again. But I finally convinced them to chill out, relax. We have Vegas on Thursday through Sunday. We're gonna go and hopefully Matt wins the Esports Player of the Year award. And it doesn't necessarily mean that he's the best at whatever representing. But you know what it represents, right? Like it is time for somebody that isn't of the PC master race to bring attention to what we have going on right here. If we were in a position of other teams and we weren't getting the spotlight that Nate is getting, I would say, you know what? Good, because my sport essentially, and at the end of the day, is the one that's getting the spotlight. But yeah, we needed that.
Is there a chance of Optic Little Kids Daycare team picking up maybe Heckleberry for the next?
Yeah, no, there isn't. Again, and I always revert to the fact that like I
no.
Again, it's like the farm system. Like this, like everything that people always hit me with on Twitter and say, "Hey, have you thought about this?" Yes, I have. Hey, have you thought? Yes, I've thought about it. Right? Like I just assume that I've thought about it. And the farm system and I'm not trying to sound like I know everything, because everybody. I shouldn't have to say it. People already know. I'm just joking. So yeah, like a farm system wouldn't work in our situation, because we would have to have like a 10-year contract with these people, right? I'm not going to build a personality. We're not going to use our platform that we have to build somebody, right? And put a lot of time into them.
What are you talking about?
Like growing players
like
from a young age.
Like a youth team.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Come on, man.
Well, and they're never going to stay on it. I was going to say, you'd have to have, like you just said, you'd have to have such a long contract, because they would just roll out, Attach refuses to get a kill on somebody that's planting the bomb, and it's like, you'd be mad that he was stuck on your team.
No, that's not.
That was.
Oh, got it. Yeah. No, but yeah, we're on the. I was just reading a text.
You guys don't remember when Attach was trying to wall bang the guy?
Yeah, I remember that. That's the only memory I've ever had. From a farm system. That's the only memory I have, which shows you how
successful. Curse Little Kids Daycare. It was the biggest fail of I tweeted at him and he laughed about it, but that was pretty bad. All right, so I do want to go to a commercial break. I think Hex, are you going to stay on or are you going to hop off?
I'm going to take. I have Oz Enrique, the legend photographer that's been around.
Yes, I've been waiting to see those pictures that you were talking about on Twitter.
Yeah. I mean, he'll put them up whenever he feels like it. He's been around since like 2009, longer than me. So he's got like a nice little portfolio going from
on your site or something, or are you? What are you doing? Gonna use them for graphics?
Oh no, we'll probably throw them out on the internet for people to have fun with. Yeah, but
awesome.
But yeah,
all right.
But yeah, I'm gonna take off, bro. Please keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a good job. I watch every single week. Fatty, you're doing a good job. Thank you for your help this weekend. Hitch, keep the grind, brother. Neslo, don't quit. Goal. Everybody in the chat. Until next time, as always, this has been Off the Hex. I'm out.
All right, so before the pictures get all screwed up, we're gonna take we gave Hex his own 10-minute basically
we should do that every
YouTube video. Yeah, just have a random person call it Hex's moment.
Make sure Neslo's in here every time so we could just every Skype he makes we just throw out the username every single time.
Dude, it always happens to me, man. Things like when will my I feel like Bad Like Brian, you know, the Twitter Bad Like Brian, dude. Yeah. Like, it needs to end now.
All right, we're gonna do a quick commercial, guys, and then we come back. We'll do questions from Twitter before we get out of here. We'll be right back.
And we are back, guys. Oh, you're doing it. Go ahead.
We back in this mug, boys.
I can't do it like that. That's why he did it.
All right. I guess, since we let Neslo in here and haven't done anything but listen to Hex talk and give out Neslo Skype, I guess we need to ask Neslo some questions. So, I guess, today it was announced that Fear and you and Dito are parting ways. Have you talked to Dito at all? And is there any, you think there's any future in the two of you guys teaming together?
It's definitely a possibility. You know, me and Ken know each other pretty good. We got to see what's going on with Season 1 teams because, I mean, if I do or if Ken does get picked up by a Season 1 team, that's one of the starters on one of those teams. It's pretty much getting screwed over pretty hard. So that's something that these organizations have to look at. But I could see me and Ken teaming in the future for sure. He's a monster of a player.
Yeah. So if it happens, say neither you nor Dito get picked up by a Season 1 team, which I think both of you will, do you see yourself teaming with him, like making a team and trying to play into the next season?
It's possible.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if it's worth playing if you're not in Season 1.
Yeah.
Like I said, it would be really good for me just to take a break and just grind streaming and grind my YouTube. That's something I really wanted to actually do more. But I don't know. I don't know if I want to play if I'm not in Season 1. I'm gonna have to climb the ropes again if that's the case. I'm pretty much an amateur right now, so I don't know what Ken wants to do. I don't really know what I want to do yet. It's going to take a couple days for things to happen. A lot can happen in a couple days in this community. You know, people could be losing league spots in a couple days. You never know.
So true.
So we'll have to see.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab a couple of these questions from Twitter. I'll pick one and then Hitch, Fatty, you guys can throw one in. This first one is from The Phenomenon, and he asks, what do you guys think of Prophecy as a team finishing top 3? Are they a one-hit wonder? And then what about their play style using Stim and Cloak? Even though basically everybody else agreed not to do that. I'll start with anybody who wants to start.
Yeah.
Are they a one-hit wonder? I feel like it'd be safer to say they are than they aren't. But yeah, they were one of the only teams to abuse that rule set. I talked to TK after they got 3-0'd by them in pool play, and they were fuming.
Yeah, they were mad.
and they were like, dude, they were abusing it in hills. They were visible in hills. They were saying all this stuff about threat grenades, and I hate how they get so much hate for using those rules when people agree to it. Like, I don't like those rules, don't get me wrong. And I'd probably be salty too if I lost to them and got sent to losers. But it wasn't banned. It's not like they did anything wrong. It's not like they broke a rule. The players decided to make a pact. are they a one-hit wonder? Like all those players are really good at this game. Ricky, Parasite, Legal, and Fears. They have a lot of slang potential. You're just gonna have to wait and see. You know, Privacy is a major organization over in Europe, and I'm glad to see that brand back in a Call of Duty. It was a brand I had the pleasure of talking to, you know, before I joined Fear,
Yeah.
and the ownership they want like amazing things out of that organization. But Prophecy as a team, I feel like that team was forced together, but it worked. So I don't have an opinion on it. You're gonna have to wait till next event. It's just the first event. That's all it
Yeah.
is. No one knows about anything yet and how this game's gonna turn out.
As far as the
Yeah.
rules, I don't. I just blame other teams for not practicing it. You know, I said if it's going to be in the game, you better damn well practice it. I said the same thing about Quidditch or Uplink.
Mhm.
It's just something that if Sledgehammer wants it done, MLG is going to say okay, because at the end of the day, they're putting up or Activision is putting up the money for championships, and that's a lot of money going to a team. That's a lot of money for the community. So play. I mean, just don't complain. Just play. That's. It sucks at times because to me they were pretty much invisible, and I saw the pictures. I think Crim tweeted or Sharp tweeted something. Basically smoke and invisible and everything else, but just made the heck out of the hill.
What are your guys' opinions on the game types? This question is from Francisco Robles 35. Oh, go ahead, Hitch.
Robles.
All right, so I'm not a player, so every time we have a player on, I like to say that so that whoever the said player is, in this case Neslo, doesn't get mad and say, "Oh, you're just a dumb spectator. You don't know Isht."
Say
But
it, Neslo.
But in my opinion, I think so. How the open bracket was done is that they rotated per round whether they were going to play CTF or Uplink, and in my opinion, I think that's how it should be all the time. Like, just be good at CTF and Uplink and play 2 hardpoints. Because hardpoint is amazing. But, I mean, it's like, why would you want to... why would... Some people want to take out CTF completely. And that doesn't... Why do you want to do that?
One
It's
of them
just-
have to go.
It's extremely hard to follow, and I think it changes the consistency. Like if you're a really good CTF team and you get in a round where it rotates where it's going to be CTF, then you're going to make sure you have host in that game and you're more likely to win it, especially when it comes to online. If you're a really good uplink team, it'd be the exact opposite. It'd be like, okay, when this round comes around, let's pick uplink if they leave it up to the players, or if they make it so that it just rotates, like you said, well, then you could kind of look at things and go, well, we're going to end up playing uplink in round 3. And so I think, in my opinion, you got to get rid of one of them, and Uplink was more entertaining this weekend. CTF, because of how fast-paced this game is, even when it comes to like holding spawns and stuff, I don't. And Neslo, I'm not a player either. I just talk a lot. So, Neslo, you can kind of fill us in on what you think about this. But if I had to get rid of one of them, and I asked, and literally it was like equal. I tweeted and I said retweet and favorite, and it was like 170 something to 170 something. I mean, it was like literally line to line. And I think after game 4 of Optic versus FaZe, more people would actually want to keep Uplink. But this was a question that I got from a lot of people. And
Well, what if Optic had lost that? Do you think it still would have been?
In my opinion, yes. I think if
Think
somehow
so?
Krim would have like not been going to boost and then got killed, it was too intense of a moment. Like CTF, there was no CTF I watched this entire weekend that was as intense as some of the uplink games I saw, where people were like throwing stuff off walls and like, I don't know how Formal bounced the ball in, like back yellow, if that's what that's called, on comeback. I don't know. I still don't know how that ball went in, because he threw it and then it bounced and Puckett was like, oh, it didn't get in. Oh, yeah, it did. And I was like, wait, did it bounce off the wall and then bounce? I mean, you couldn't see. And so maybe there needs to be a view where we can actually see what's going on with the ball itself. I mean, there's a lot you could do with the game. But in my opinion, you got to get rid of one of them. CTF has just been really hard to follow, especially when both flags are out. I'm looking at the screen and trying to pay attention. Okay, where the heck are these flags? And based on what I'm seeing and who has the flag. But maybe because it's so fast-paced, the casters are also failing to keep up with the right people. Because there was moments where I was like, okay, Formal dropped like 38 kills, and you showed him for like 14 seconds because you were showing Crim and Aches or something like that, you know. And so it was kind of frustrating from a viewer standpoint in general. But this game is so fast paced. I don't know how casters keep up. I mean, Fatty, you're a caster, but maybe it's easy once you get it down. You just, you know, have
But
it. But
I think we saw this weekend that a lot of the casters were kind of
Yeah.
but
yeah,
other than, and I think that's going to be a thing. I think we're going to have to change the way we cast. It's not going to be as much play by play as you've seen. I think it's going to be more more theoretical. Oh, and then
Neslo, what's your opinion?
I think a lot of tweaking still needs to go down before we even talk about this. You guys, everyone is like falling in love with Uplink after this event. I don't mind playing Uplink at all. I enjoy the game type. It's not like I have a hate for it. Capture the Flag is still probably more competitive than Uplink. Everyone is saying, you know, it's a spectator game type, people. It's exciting. It's fun. I don't disagree with that at all. But so is Blitz. Blitz is exciting. Blitz is fun.
Yeah.
Blitz was also not competitive. Blitz was awful.
Yeah.
That's a player standpoint for 85% of us. So I think best of fives is awkward. I don't really care or I'm worried about a best of three format, like what Hitch said. That's fine how you can rotate, you know, the CTF and uplinks.
Mhm.
There's no problem with that. But a best of five having 4 game types and then one game
Yes.
type count more, it is very awkward, especially because you have a CTF and uplink back to back no matter what order it is. It's weird to me. It's not that it's bad, but it's weird that hardpoint, like one hardpoint, has the same value in a series that an uplink does. And that's something because we play hardpoint so much and players practice hardpoint so much to the point where it's like hardpoint's our best game type. Yeah, let's go get this event. And you go at 1-0, and then you have 3 other game types that you gotta play.
Yeah.
And it's like that. I mean, that's your responsibility. You gotta practice every game type. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I wish hardpoint did have more of a value in a best of 5. And to do that, you would have to get rid of CTF for uplink. I want to tweak the CTF respawn timer. I want people to mess with it. It's so fast paced. There's so much overextending.
Mhm.
Maybe crank it up to 7 seconds, 6 seconds. Just keep cranking it up, testing it out. You know, we're not done testing the game. We don't know anything about the game yet. This is just a basic map set, rule set,
Mhm.
and I like uplink. I think it can be competitive. I think it needs a couple tweaks as well. It's fun to play. It is, as you saw yesterday, extremely fun to watch because anything can happen at any given time in uplink. But it's hard to follow as well at times. Like there's a lot of spectator glitches where like someone has a ball in their hand but it doesn't show it in the camera. But
That happened a lot with there was a moment where even in that game 4 where Krim grabbed the ball and scored, but his gun was out. He was actually reloading while scoring, but he had the ball at the same time. So yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's really weird how there's like it goes 1, 2, 3, 4 and then another search like that.
Yeah.
It just isn't right to me. A best
Yeah.
of 5 is like that. But we do have 4 viable game types right now, and
Which is weird.
I prefer CTF over uplink to be honest.
Well, it makes sense. What you're saying is that competitively, yes, CTF. You know,
What if we played best of sevens?
with the
Takes
That
long.
would
There's time
take
constraints.
Yeah, that'd be take years.
with the rotations and everything. But I think we have. In all honesty, I just think they should figure out how to get you guys 2 hard points. Like that's just my opinion. I don't care.
Yeah.
I really, honestly, if it was CTF, I'd be like, great. At least I get to watch hardpoint twice in every best of 5. Like the rotation that they have now, it just confuses the crap out of me. And I can't fathom how as a team you win or lose game 1 and that's your only hardpoint. So if hardpoint is your best game type and as excited as we were as viewers to see and play hardpoint again, and then
Sucks.
for it only to be, I mean, can you imagine if they did that on like Black Ops 2 if they only played 1 hardpoint?
Oh no,
We'd
that would
riot.
never happen. But that's because
Uh,
Black Ops 2 hardpoint was perfect. This hardpoint
Yeah.
is like
It's different.
different. Yeah,
It's a little bit different. It's still pretty damn good, but it is different.
yeah.
There's a lot. One thing that was great about this weekend is every map was so close. Like between all these
Yes.
teams, like,
Oh,
people rarely got blown out on main stage in hardpoint, and like Last Hill going to school in Detroit, like stuff like that is really really exciting and nerve wracking for fans. I remember watching, I think it was TK and Envy play, and it went down to like the Last Hill, and it's a 5-point game, and it's crazy to watch. But
Especially how fast they can swarm the hill,
yeah,
and
anything
how
can
fast
happen.
people are dying.
I
Yeah.
saw one blowout, and I got assassinated on Twitter. I probably lost like 20 followers, but it
Oh,
was
the optic one.
yeah,
Yeah.
That was bad.
because they got 100 point clubbed, and when they did it, I said, "Why is Twitter so quiet?" And all these people responded, and then I said, "Oh, you guys made good reasons. You gave me a little under 100 reasons."
Oh.
And then another thing is like
They were
Ken brought it.
frustrated.
Ken brought it up when the game came out. It's like if you're gonna have CTF and uplink in a best of 5, you need to split them up. And the
Yes.
only way to split them up is
Yeah.
hardpoint not being game number 1. And who doesn't want hardpoint to lead off a series?
Hardpoint
Yeah.
has to
Nobody.
be
Like you don't want to start off a series with a CTF.
So what's the?
It's awkward.
I don't understand what the problem is. What we have gained from this is we both want 2 hard points. We both want 2 S&Ds, and basically we both want to see CTF and uplink. Is that correct?
So why don't we just rotate a best of 5? Why don't we do hardpoint, S&D, CTF or uplink, and then hardpoint S&D?
I'm
Why don't we do
retiring.
the same thing? Why don't we do the same things for best of 3s that we do for best of 5s?
That's what
And we
that's
come
Hitch's
full circle.
suggestion. That's Hitch's suggestion. If he
Let's
wants it,
sweeten
he
out.
wants
That's
it
what's
to
the
be.
duo right now.
So,
If
I
that's
have
the
a
only
question.
option, everyone gets what they want.
Yeah, he wants it to rotate.
Did
That's
we
not-
have vetoes with this tournament?
No.
For one thing, I kind of like that because it forces everybody to play the maps that they don't want to. But at the same time, like if they said, okay, we'll make it so CTF is CTF / uplink, you can veto or play, either or. Would everybody choose CTF?
No, and that's another thing. Like, what if we did it to the
Envy
point?
would choose uplink.
Yeah,
What if vetoes are
our team
gone?
is better at uplink.
Huh.
But
We should
what-
take vetoes out, in my opinion. I know that's not a player. I know players don't like that, but for the spectators, are y'all still there? Nobody's
Yeah, we're
moving.
still
Okay.
here.
I don't think anybody agrees with you.
Here you go, Hitch. Keep talking, Hitch.
Does anybody hear me?
Hold on, I was recording the stream because
What?
that was insane. But anyway,
Go ahead.
I like
sorry.
the veto system, except for as a fan, I like being able to watch the maps I play and not the same damn map over and over. We saw that a lot in Ghosts. Actually, we saw that a lot in Black Ops 2.
I don't think this would happen
But-
in this game. I really don't. I
You know?
really think that there's no like circle of players that are going around and be like, yeah, this sucks. Like this game type, we don't enjoy playing it. Like it's very rare in this game so far. Maybe because it's so new, and we'll find out like, oh, spawns in this hard point are a lot more wacky than other hard points. But what if we can make a veto system to the point where you have a certain amount of vetoes, like a lot more than you did in past veto systems, to the point where maybe your team could pretty much just veto all the uplinks, but you're also taking a risk because then you'd have to play any hardpoint or S&D the other team wants you to play.
Mm.
And what if you can structure kind of like League of Legends to the point if you're going to counter like a game type that's something you really don't want to bother, that you really suffer from it. And that's what a veto system is for. It's not to just make it boring and play all the best maps in the game.
Yeah.
But
I agree. This is from @VCraddock. With the upcoming BAL nerf, do you think placings are going to be completely different or remain generally the same?
Apparently,
Same.
the Bound nerf is already out for the 360.
I heard
And
that.
Yeah, people are saying all it is more.
It's vertical. It's a vertical recoil from what I think it was Drifter
So it just
put
goes
out.
more up and down, or
Yeah,
Does
it's
it
like
already
straight.
go-
It's like a perfect recoil because you can aim at their body and end up
hit
getting a
him in the
headshot.
face? Wonderful.
So we'll see if it works out. What's crazy? Have you seen Drifter's video about sniping?
no, I haven't. Not.
The snipers are off. They
Yeah.
they
They're not
aim
accurate.
to the bottom right or the bottom left.
They're not accurate at all.
Yeah, they're not.
You have to lead shots in this game too.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think that's where hover is kind of hard. Like I was playing in ranked last night, and it was like, I'm chasing a guy, and he boosts up and then just pauses in midair. So I'm leading my shots, but then he's not moving anymore, so he ends up killing me. It's so unexpected. Do you think Neslo that when Sharp was on last week, was he on last week or 2 weeks ago? Last time Sharp was on, we asked him if he thought they would go back to putting us on the ground in the next game, World at War 7 or Black Ops 12, whatever's coming out next year. we asked if they would put us back on the ground and take us out of the air and take away exosuits and all that kind of stuff. The thing I didn't think about, he said yes, but the thing I didn't think about is, won't that slow the game down drastically to the pace that it's sped up to now?
I don't know. I do think we're not like gonna stay at this whole jetpacking, double dashing thing for another year. Like I think this was a kind of a test. This is something that they wanted to do. It's their own developer, and if Black Ops 3 is this year, or rumors of the next World at War, we're going back to World War II. Yeah, we're wearing exosuits this year. But
in World at War, we're in exosuits.
But I think we'll go back. I think we'll go back to like Tommy guns and things like that. But
I hope so, man. I hope so.
Could you imagine?
That
Like,
game
like a
wasn't
pipe grenade?
competitive to me. Yeah,
But
A pipe bomb.
pipe bomb. But
Molotov
I
cocktail.
think I don't think we're gonna be here next year. Like I don't think like they're just like, oh well, this is awesome. We're all gonna do this now. It's a possibility. I feel like if you watch a Black Ops 2 gameplay right now, it's not that slow. Like even if you've watched Advanced
Yeah.
Warfare and how fast it is, this is just a whole new animal. But you're not gonna watch a Black Ops 2 Hardpoint and be like, this is boring.
Yeah.
Like Black
that's
Ops
true.
2 is still amazing.
I honestly think
I haven't
Ghost
gone
was
back and
just.
played it.
I think Ghost was just so bad that we're just accepting of what they could have told us to play Pac-Man for a year and we would have been a-okay with it just because Ghost was so bad. So I feel like everyone is just kind of accepting it, but nobody like loves it. Nobody like really wants to play it full time. Like, in my opinion, there might be one or two people out there.
What, the jetpack stuff?
It's really different. That's all I can say. Like I love this game. Like when this game came out, I like fell in love with this game more than anybody. And then through time, number one, I had to go to the doctor to get my hand checked out because
Yeah.
it really does hurt your hands. It's not like a joke.
Ridiculous.
It's not a tension. Like he said that there could be arthritis developing in my hand, throughout the years because I use a control freak. So my hand is raised higher, my thumb is raised higher, and there's just so much jumping and jetpacking and knifing. So it does structural damage. So I hope Scuff comes out with like a hybrid for the one, but that's off topic. But this game, it's like you're right. No one loves it, but no one hates it. It's in the middle right now, and I mean we need a better rule set. We need to ban cloak and stim and threat grenades. Like I could see you through a wall, like not just like you on the radar. I could see your body through a wall.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
and
something-
the bad stuff, the annoying stuff is starting to come out in pubs a lot. Like if I was playing pubs Hardpoint late last night, and when someone puts up a turret, I mean, we were playing against a team because I think you can do a support turret now, and so people will put 2 turrets and one inside of the hardpoint. I mean, you literally can't get in there. And we had a guy that put a turret in the building and then got behind it with his riot shield and turned around and just crouched. So you not only couldn't kill the turret, you couldn't kill him. So it was like, and what else is there? There's a grenade on this game. I don't know if it's a tactical or a grenade where it sends out these 2 little drones, or it sends out a little drone that tracks people.
And it
you can
shines in
use
your
that
face.
you can use that in ranked search and destroy now. And Ocho, one of my friends, thought that they were hacking because on our team, because every time we'd spawn in, we'd see the red dots from the other team on the map, like on the mini map. You could see where they were. It's like, that's so broken. You can't use that in search. Like, how is that in search and destroy? And I don't know why in their recent update, CTF is the only thing where you can't use UAV and certain other things. Your classes are restricted and you can kill your teammates, I think, but not in all game modes. It's really weird. Go ahead.
It seems like it's in beta version.
Yeah,
Seems like they just threw a bunch of stuff in there. They're like, let's
just
test all
see
that
how
out.
it works. Yeah. I'm like, so there is some annoying stuff that's coming out, and we'll get over it. Like what people haven't seen yet that I use. If you play Momentum, if you want to have fun and you want to get a 5-piece grenade kill, play Momentum, get Bombardier, and put on 2 Semtexes and a frag, and then just run towards the Momentum and just launch with fast hands. It was ridiculously fun. Oh, you were playing when I did that?
Yeah, that was amazing.
I mean, I got like 35 kills. Half of them were with grenades. It was stupid. And I played that way on Hardpoint as well, just to have fun. And so, what?
You got a 5-piece.
I know. It was
That was
dope.
crazy.
I didn't record it. It sucked. I didn't have my Elgato on. All right, couple questions before we roll.
I got one.
Okay, let me ask this one real quick because it's funny. At Crazy Quaz, will I be on the sticks, and can Kingdom buy me a ticket to the next event? No.
Kingdom needs to buy a
No
second ticket.
and no.
Go ahead, Fatty.
This is from our buddy MLG Roster Mania or Airfly 2K Ops, whatever his name is.
Oh, that
Landon.
Logan is his name. What teams
Thought it was
did you wish were qualified, and what teams are you happy for that got qualified?
Is it TK?
Directed to me.
That's directed to everybody. So, yeah.
I'm glad Prophecy's back as a brand. I think they know what they're doing. I've talked to them a lot. Their management, they definitely know what they're doing. TK deserves it. Obviously, they haven't placed outside of top 8 on LAN and since champs, and other than that, never. They deserve to be in the league. And then I'm happy for the homie Burns. That dude has played more Call of Duty than anybody else in this game.
Dude,
More than any pro, more than anybody else. He's determined. I've talked to him a lot. And I see the old me in him a little bit. Like, he's really determined this year. And I'm happy AR made it as well. And then who was the 4th team that qualified? It was AR, TK, Prophecy, and Aware. Those guys, they looked like one of the best teams at the event. Hands down, before the event, at the event, I don't care if it's like old amateur players, if it's Sender, people still don't want to give them credit. They look like one of the best teams there.
Yeah, I was really happy for Sender. I love that dude. He's like my duo. Not really. But no, he's really awesome, and I was just happy that everybody from that Noble squad that got ripped off, got in. I thought that was great. I wish, honestly, and I'm not saying this because Neslo's here. I wish Fear would have made it. I love Fear as a brand. Back in when I first started watching, the 3 teams were Envy, Optic, and Fear. Those were like everybody's favorite teams, and
even before it was just Fear and Envy.
Yeah.
Fear and Envy was always the biggest rival.
And funny story is, I was at this guy from church's dinner. This guy from church invited us over for dinner. So we're sitting at dinner, and he's like, "Hey, what do you like to do for fun?" And I'm like, "Well, I play a lot of Call of Duty, and I do casting for it." And I explained to him what casting is. He's like, "Oh, do you know Team Fear?" And I'm like, yeah, I know all the players on there. They're awesome guys. He's like, "Oh, well, this guy from this guy's in the army also." He's like, "This guy that I'm in the military with has a tattoo of Team Fear."
Oh,
And he says he's a pro player for them. I'm like, all right, who from Team Fear has a tattoo on their arm? So dude's just a fanboy. But anyway,
I thought it was gonna be like a
no, unless it was Neslo. Do you have a Team Fear tattoo? But
and
he's
then
like, yeah, he
military.
currently
Hell
plays
no.
on their pro team.
Yeah, I was on their team for 3 weeks. Yeah, I have a
Yeah,
tat.
no. But I just thought that was funny. But anyways, back to
What?
Roundabout. I wish Team Fear would have made it.
So these are some. I'll share some interesting stats in a moment. COD Stats just DM'd me like a plethora of in-depth stats. Some of them are interesting. Yes, I use the word plethora. That's right. I'm educated slightly. So I'm happy Aware made it. I'm very happy AR made it. I'm very happy for Burns. I like when he tweeted, "I will be successful in this game." And it was before he had qualified for the league spot. And he was just like, he didn't care if he didn't qualify. He was going to grind anyway. And so I'm really happy. I'm so sad that Tipsy wasn't on the team. Really would have loved to have seen him.
They can pick him up and drop somebody.
This is very true.
Well, he might still be on their locked roster just because he was playing for them here.
Nah, I don't think so, because then they wouldn't have been able to compete at an event with anyone else.
Why not?
Yeah, Fatty. Yeah.
Well, why not though?
Because
if they
you
can have a
submit
If-
at the event.
You had to lock your roster for the event. For season 1, your roster had to be locked by that event. And
If the
nobody
roster,
picked up subs yet.
But was the roster lock for the event the same as the roster lock for the
Yeah.
season?
Yes.
Oh, it was?
yeah,
Yes.
so
This
you
was
can
a-
only pick up subs or trade players. It's the only 2 options you have.
Yeah, this was pretty much like this was the first event of the season, even though it's not a part of the season. It is weird. But
That's what I'm saying. Like, players like me and Ken trying to get on season 1 teams, it's not that simple, because not only are you dropping your player that qualified, but you're pretty much benching him. I don't know if he'll be able to leave exactly. I don't know if you're going to trade him if anyone wants him. So you're pretty much trapping that player for whoever you decide to pick up.
so
So
you're
then things
basically
get fishy.
saying, Neslo, that you are going to take someone else's place.
Neslo's gonna be sliding people's DMs.
I'm not trying to.
Oh.
I got intel on things that
No,
I'll say off stream.
oh.
I won't say it on stream.
Yeah,
but
don't say it on stream.
There's some crazy stuff about to happen in this league. I'll tell you that much.
The chat is about to go bananas.
Oh,
You know what we haven't even talked about? Okay, so I'll close with the stats. That's what I'll close with when I get to close. But the thing we haven't talked about is impact. I said exactly. I said a couple of sticks ago that I didn't think this team was going to stay together. Didn't think they were going to do very good in this event. I have nothing against those players, but the combination of the players that are left, it's not what was designed, and it's not like FaZe where it's not what they designed, but it turned out to be really well. It's like the opposite of that. Like Karma not being there and Parasite leaving really left them kind of out to dry, and I don't think Killa and Miracles want to go into this league and end up being like Justice was last year, you know.
I decided not to be on that team. I decided fear over them, to be honest. I don't know what it is. Like honestly, right now, openly, I do want a team with Killa and Mir. Like I've wanted a team with Killa and Mir for the past like year and a half. It's just never the cards never played right.
So are you saying because Parasite was on there is why you passed?
No, Parasite wasn't on there.
Okay.
They offered me the spot.
Okay.
Even if Haggie's on there, I have nothing like personal with Haggie or anything like that. But yeah, they offered me the spot. It just shows fear. But yeah, I've always wanted a team with those guys. Like they are better than top 16. They're better than top 24. They just gotta drop the egos, man. They gotta start fresh and stop this COD champs run that was 3 years ago or 2 years ago. It was a lot. Like, dude, they won champs, man. I haven't even been to a champs yet. Okay, so they won a champs, but they need to calm the egos down and play. But you're right. I think that's like a force roster as well. It's a roster that doesn't make sense when you look at it. It's just it's like
It doesn't.
It's like all right, Spaceless, you're good friends with Killa and Mir, you know, and then Study kind of ended up there. He's good friends with Mir, but
it doesn't work.
that roster doesn't work, and it literally showed this weekend because they're a lot better than top 16.
Do you think Killa and Miracles should split?
No.
They're not a lot better. Well, let me say this. They're a lot better than a couple of the players on different teams would have been more successful. Spacely would have been more successful on a different team. Killa and Miracles, if Parasite stayed, they probably actually would have done better, even with all the arguing and craziness. But I think, and I said this before, Parasite found the perfect situation for him. He's on a team where he's the winningest player. He probably has the most say. People, if they're annoyed, are going to stick with him, and they got third, you know. So as much as people might say, oh, ha, 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 Parasite left, and I hope he's not successful, blah, 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 you know, he got top 3, and he has kind of now taken over the ego of Aches, who has been tweeting nice stuff for like the last 2 days. You know, like, oh, Hastro, I'm humbled by your good comments. And GG's Optic Gaming. I'm just so overjoyed. 19 100%. Wins. You know, I'm like, what? Who is this guy? But then you have Parasite, who, when gets in somebody else's conversation, when they're tweeting about Cloak and Stim and how everybody who used that was unsuccessful, and Parasite slides into the mentions and is like top 3, haha. I'm like, what? Like, awesome. It's like he took over the Aches position, and but Parasite did good. I mean, nobody can really say anything about him. He got top 3. He 3-0'd FaZe. I mean, they played extremely well, and you know, they came out on top. So
Impact, like Killa. I'm sorry, keep going.
No, go ahead.
Like Impact is just, they need to find people they're comfortable with attitude, because like this whole like thing, when you think of Impact, it's just arguments and entertainment. That's all you think about when you think of Killa. That's all you think about when you think of Impact. That needs to finally end. And for that to end, they got to find people who they like personally, people they talk to, but also that are on their skill level, that also have played with them before and they have chemistry with. And that's something they haven't found the right Impact team yet.
Who do you think that is?
I don't know.
I think, you know,
people say like they need Damon.
I think Damon. I think the minute he said he wasn't joining that team, I was like, failed attempt. I mean, and the funny thing is, he doesn't fit, in my opinion. Luckily, Hex isn't watching anymore, but he doesn't fit on Optic Nation for the same reasons. Like,
I think he does.
I think he does too.
You think they're going to be successful?
Yes.
Hex is still in.
I think TP is like a great leader if you've been watching them play. I know they
Yeah.
haven't been doing the best. I know they
They
didn't
gotta
place
give
the
him that
best.
role. Yeah.
But TP, I love TP's personality in Optic Nation. I think Damon is still one of the best players.
Oh, of course.
I think Bose is. I think the entire team is good. They need like Hector said, they need more time. That's
Yeah.
a team because like those aren't players that have played together before a lot. Like all these teams that like Optic
that
stays in
team's
small
cool.
circles, Envy stays in small circles, TK, they all have players who've played together in past Call of Duties, and they have duos and trios. Like Optic Nation, other than TP and Damon, it's like Bose has played with Proofy a little bit. Damon, I don't know if he's ever played with Proofy, and
Way
everything.
back in the day, I think.
Yeah, everything's different on that team. So, but for Impact, I don't know. Like I said, I think I'd be a pretty good fit for that team. I don't live in regret. I chose Fear over Impact, but I don't know what's Impact's savior. I don't know what Kill and Mirror are gonna do, and I
They're
think
gonna
they
do
just
something though.
they
They're
settle.
not
I said they settle for friends and comfortability over potential.
But they're not gonna. I don't think they're willing to settle for placing low in the league. I don't see that roster as being willing to do that. I think they'd be more likely to do what you're talking about and make one of those little changes, whether it was you, Dito, or somebody else. I think they'd be comfortable making a change to try to fix things up, so to speak. And so we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm one of those people that says if Damon would have gone on that team, even if Parasite would have left, they would have placed better than they did. I just think because of his skill level, their egos may clash, but somehow they work things out. They just keep winning, and it's like when things got crazy with EG, they were able to still find success and stuff like that. And so then Pat just stopped playing. I mean, and I don't know what that was really about, but he just, all in all, just stopped playing and stopped practicing. So, let me see do you guys think, this is from Avalanche Twitch. Do you think FaZe will continue dominating? Will they get another win, or was this just they clutched up and it'll
See
be tough?
Hex's tweet to you.
Oh gosh, what did
I
he
told
say?
you he was in here, man.
Where is he?
He said always watching.
Always watching.
But I think the reason why FaZe won this event is strictly search and destroy. They were the only team I know, especially when I played with them for about a week and a half. They barely scrimmed. The only thing they played in this game since it's come out is S&D tourneys. And that's something Slasher had an amazing S&D KD at this event. It's something I want to know how many searches they lost at this event. It had to be 2, maybe 3 tops in like 10, 12 series.
You're talking about FaZe?
Yeah. They did not drop a lot of search and
One of the
destroys
things CODStat sent me is that they were 4-0 in game 5s.
There you go. That's why they won. Plain and simple.
Yeah. In game 5s, they literally didn't lose.
If your team can play for a game 5 and be comfortable with a game 5, you're never going to lose.
I think that's what everybody should be building on, honestly.
And that's why Optic hasn't won yet. Strictly all search and destroy.
Yeah,
And I think that's also why Aware did so good. I think everybody was impressed by their search. And, that's, I don't know. I think Sender's always been like that, like coming up with the weirdest things. Miyagi, another player that comes up with weird S&D strats that work. And,
You said who needs that? Optic?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Optic needs
they got Imbos living in the house.
That's Optic Nation, though. Doesn't matter. They just need to play S&D together more. It's not like we had a lot of time for this event. We only had a couple. And when you're struggling in a game type like Hardpoint, you're gonna really stray away from practicing your search and going in these S&D tourneys. And I think Optic knew that they were struggling in Hardpoint, so they really focused on it before the event. And then when they played the one team that really focused on search, it wasn't very close in S&D. Like you could just tell FaZe is just so prepared in search at that event.
I kind of forgot that SB didn't make it in the league. All those players are available.
John could go to Impact.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
There you go.
He would play well.
Did he not play well this weekend? I didn't get to see much.
SB played good, period. Like, they just didn't make it. I mean, these dudes, if you look at they finished, 3-1 in their pool? Right? They won their pool. SB went 11-4 in their pool. They had the best record in their pool. And that was the same pool with Envious, Aware, DT, and Carnage, and DT proved to be a good team. But then when they lost to FaZe in that game 5, which of course, as we said, FaZe won every single game 5, and then they got 3-1 by TK, and they didn't win the league qualification match against Aware. But SB, I think they played great. That when they lost that match, I think it was to Envy. Yeah, when they lost that match to Envy because of JCap boosting around and killing Twiz, that pretty much killed it. I mean, at that point, I think they would have finished 4-0 in their pool if they would have done that. I mean, that team, in my opinion, did way better than anybody expected. They did great. So I think they have a good roster. I think those teams will go somewhere. We'll see how it goes. But in my opinion, they'll go somewhere. All right. I don't know if I have any more questions on here.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Who do you think was should have played better in the tournament? Like, what was your?
Envy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Envy.
Envy and Denial, 100% both upset about their performances. Envy and Denial.
I was gonna say Envy. I picked them top 3. Actually, I picked them second. I agree with that, and I think they were probably the most upset.
This Denial team put in probably most, if not the most, work out of any other team in the scene for this event, and they came up short.
I was also kind of disappointed in Justice's spot, to be honest, because I thought they were a top 5 team as well. I mean,
What
8
did
isn't bad.
Justice place?
Justice
8
was top 5.
They were 8th.
They choked. Like, I mean, that's the best way to say it. I know Snacks is in here. He's probably going to want to slap me, but they beat DT, but then they got 3-0'd in round 5 versus Denial, and it was just those were the 2 best teams coming out of pool play. Like, no one expected, but once Justice lost in that game 5 to Optic, it was obvious they were going to end up facing off against Denial. I mean, everybody knew that Denial was going to, well, we thought Denial was going to take automatic reload, which they did, and Justice was going to take DT. But they got 3-0'd in round 5 by Denial, and it was unfortunate. I don't think they lost each of those games by a lot. They're still going to be one of the best teams in season 1 if they make it. I know all this crazy drama that's going on right now, which we can't really talk about because there's not really any resolution. It sounds like stuff is going to go to court, blah, 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 blah. I know Snacks is in here, and he's involved in all that as well. Technically, in my opinion, they earned their spot no matter what. But, you know, if for some reason they don't get it because of, like, Most Wanted, then that means one of those other teams is technically going to have to not have a spot. So I think MLG is going to end up having to get involved with this whole thing and mediate. But they'll
mediation.
I think they have to. I think it's too much. It's on Twitter too much. Blev has kind of stopped tweeting about it, but Felon started tweeting about it again yesterday, and Snacks hasn't really said anything. He's
the smart one.
Yeah, he's just like whatever. So I don't have any other questions, so we're probably about to close the show. Thanks, Neslo, for coming on. Appreciate it, bro.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
What kind of headset is that? Because I know Sharp has the same one, I think.
I don't know the name of that. It's an Audio Technica headset. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
That's Plantronics Audio Technica.
Yeah, I don't know the name of it.
TK sponsor?
Yeah, that was one of the TK sponsors.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because
I think Neslo did a video about it. I know Sharp did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did a review on this. I did.
Okay,
We got a care package.
We're gonna go around and yeah, I'm waiting for a care package from a non-sponsor actually, but they just said they'd let me test some stuff out.
Sorry, I'm sick.
All right.
Well, I
That's
just
the best one
coughed.
I've ever heard. Oh my god.
So, as we sign off, what we do, Neslo, and you're going to be a part of it, is you kind of get to say whatever you want to whoever you want and however you want, basically. Try to do it in 30 seconds or less. So you can promote yourself. You can do whatever you want. We'll go. I always start with Hitch. We're going to go Fatty, then Neslo, then Hitch, and then I'll go. And when I go, I'll do the stats that I got from COD Stats for you guys in the chat.
Oh, well, thank you very much for having me. As always, Kingdom Neslo, thank you for coming on. And Big Optic Hex, thank you for your 10-minute spiel, because he always spits out gold, doesn't he? But thank you guys for having me. You can catch me on Twitter, as always, at Smiting Fatty, and also look for my articles on Gamma Gamers and Optic Intel.
Thank you guys, for all the support. You can follow me on Twitter. It's just I got the original Neslo. I have nothing else. It's just Neslo. It's pretty cool. It's been a tough weekend. I don't think I'm gonna quit. Maybe take a break. But the support's actually been pretty crazy lately. It's like there's a lot of hate, but I saw in the chat today there's a lot of Neslo supporters out there.
I'm a Neslo
And
supporter.
that's something that keeps players going, especially through rough times. And I'm always thankful for that. I'm thankful for Hector for telling me not to quit and things like that. And thanks for having me on the show.
Hitch.
All right. Thanks so much for all the support, guys. Thanks Kingdom for having me on. Also Fatty, and thanks Neslo for joining us. And keep your head up, Neslo. Everything's going to be hunky dory. You're a beast. Also, guys, I have so much content coming soon. The MLG experience, mean tweets is coming out. I'm going to do another chemistry video. And also the Twitch mob rap will be uploaded tomorrow. So I know you guys have been wanting to see that. Tweet of the week is actually from Nadeshot when the Seek Hour was happening. He did a favorite if active, and it got 24,000 favorites. So
Holy crap.
that is pretty stupid. So
I'm really
that's the tweet of the
upset,
week.
Hitch. I'm really disappointed. Go ahead.
Why?
Because he didn't follow him.
No, I had a tweet that I don't want to say it on stream because everybody took it as a roast towards Clayster, but I added you and said this should be tweet of the week. But I'm gonna find it and show it to you. I'll put it in the chat. It was a good tweet. But it didn't get 24,000 favorites, so wasn't even close to that actually. All right, are you done, Hitch?
Yeah, I'm done. Love you guys. Bye.
All right, so I'm Kingdom Soldier, and we didn't talk a lot about Nadeshot in the show. Somebody was saying that on Twitter. They were like, answer my question about Nadeshot. I actually had questions about him that we just didn't get to. So, sorry, just not a lot of Nade talk today. Yeah, first time in. So I'm trying to get it in right now. I'm trying to get in all of my, Big Snacks gets mad and tweets at us when we don't mention him on the show. And so I don't want the same thing to happen to Nade. Okay, I found the. Oh, so it got.
If you did, though, that would mean he's watching.
That is true. But it got 263 retweets and 568 favorites. So I'll link it in the chat so you can see it. So let me read these DMs that I got that just are jewels. I'm not going to go over any of these stats. I'm just going to share them because they asked me. They're going to do this for us, I guess, every week. This is from COD_stats. COD_stats. And so FaZe went 4-0 in Game 5s. That's the first thing they sent me. Only one, which was Scump, of the 8 players in the finals were in the top 10 in kill death ratio. I thought that was really interesting. The Outslaying team went 9. Huh?
Say that again.
Only one of the 8 players in the finals placed top 10 in kill death ratio. The Outslaying team went 9-5 on Retreat CTF, which is the lowest percentage. That's more Outslaying losses than all of Uplink or Hardpoint. Wow. All of Optic Gaming was positive on CTF Biolab. They went 2-1 on CTF on that map. Vitality's average CTF time was 12 minutes and 3 seconds. What is that? I don't get what that means.
That means every time they cap. Right? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Damn, that sucks.
You guys couldn't hear it. Average length of the CT, of the game, which means they went into overtime multiple times.
Wow. Teams that were up 5-4 in Search and Destroy won 62% of the time. Teams that got First Blood won 71% of the time. Teams that won Uplink won 79% of their matches. That's actually interesting. And teams that won CTF won 73% of their matches.
I think that shows the amount of practice going in towards all game types.
It just shows that hard point isn't valued like it should be, to be honest. It just means that, like I wonder what the status or how many teams won the percentage of their matches if they won hard point.
If you guys are watching, can you DM that? We won't talk about it on the show, but COD stats, can you guys DM the hard point percentages? I don't know why I'm getting all these follows, but I think it's because Hex told me he was watching when I said, I hope Hex isn't watching anymore. All right, so we're going to get out of here, guys. We'll be back next week. Neslo, if you don't end up playing and you want to come on the sticks, you're welcome, bro. Hit me up. We normally hit
Or
up.
if you end up playing.
I'm not getting off the game ever again. Like I'm gonna be grinding so hard, you have no idea.
Uh-oh.
I'm excited about that.
Well, if on Mondays you're not scrimming with your new team that you can't tell us about, I'm sure people are going to be screaming intel in the chat. But thank you guys for coming. Please stick around. Those of you that don't have ad block, Goalie's going to run some ads at the end. I'll try to stay watching the chat so we can chat. No pun intended. Make sure to follow all these guys on Twitter. Hitch is slowly creeping up on me, and he's going to pass me on Twitter and make me cry. But you guys can make that not happen.
I'm still waiting for juice from either of you. I'm just kidding.
I've never juiced you?
No, you have.
Oh.
Well, actually, you juiced my YouTube, which was amazing.
Yeah. And now you don't upload. So.
Whatever, I uploaded the other day.
That was like once in a month.
No, I've done like 3 now, two, and I'm gonna do one probably tomorrow. I'm getting back on the grind. All right.
I don't know how to. Hitch is the only like super active person that can receive juice from me. Like you and Goalie, just like Goalie doesn't upload anymore at all. But I actually like his content.
He streams every night. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Neslo, are you making YouTube videos again, or are you going to? Or
I'm gonna be on my YouTube grind starting. I was supposed to do a video today, but I'll probably do it tomorrow now.
Do it today.
Yeah, because I liked your content. Get back on it. Don't miss the opportunity. Everybody wants to hear from you. All right, guys. See you later. We'll see you next week. Peace.